Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of
Kiddo.
My name is Hans.
I'm Edward.
And we are your hosts for now and forevermore. Before we continue, Edward and I would just like to address what is currently happening in the world at the moment, specifically with the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah.
We both feel it is very important. We want you, our listeners, to go out into the world, be informed, know what the movement is about, and what it means, and what you can do to make a difference and be better people.
Yeah.
Because if we don't change at home, and if we don't check our own privilege to be better people, then the world can't be a better place. Really, it's really that simple.
Pretty much. Just be nice to each other. Be kind to each other. Together we can make a difference.
You know, for those who are listening, you know, it is a very important movement. There is a reason why it's called Black Lives Matter. And it's because right now, this form of systemic racism is really destroying people around the world. And we have the ability to make a difference. I know this podcast is still young, it's still small, but Edward and I felt that we have the platform and we just wanted to let you, our listeners, know that we support you and we know that we can all make a difference if we become knowledgeable about what is happening in the world today.
Yeah.
Okay, well, with that in mind, not much is happening on my side, Ed. Things are okay. We're, I think, in lockdown level 3 now, as we mentioned last week.
Yeah. Finally, but also not so finally, because I'd much rather stay home.
Look, I totally hear you. COVID-19 is everywhere.
Yeah.
And it would be so much better if most people actually listened to the rules and, you know, stayed home more often than going out. But now with level 3, everything is basically open again. It's a little bit concerning, but let's hope for the best, right?
Yeah, naturally. Yeah.
And with the best in mind, we both discovered some really cool stuff this week with regards to COVID-19.
Yes.
And it's got to do with how technology is changing the game.
Yeah.
Specifically in terms of identifying whether or not you're infected.
Yeah, pretty much. So, a company called Aura essentially created a ring.
Oh, I've heard about these. These are wearables, right? Kind of like an Apple Watch.
Yeah, it's exactly
but
that.
But it's a ring that measures, it measures your, like your heart rate and your physiology.
Pretty much.
Right? Like your temperature and respiratory rate, stuff like that.
Like, think mood ring, but for the 21st century.
Okay. That's actually a really good way of I kind of want one. Is it?
Yeah, don't we all? It's Britney, bitch.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Sorry, not to deviate away. But Britney released a new song, or rather, a song that's 4 years old that was only available in Japan. But now she's put it back onto her album Glory in 2020. Well, I don't want to get too much into it, but definitely go and check it out if you're a Britney fan like I am. It's really cool.
Like
right,
we are. Jeez.
Back to Aura rings.
Yes. So basically, it measures all the stuff that Hans mentioned before, and it has a 90% accuracy rate of diagnosing your COVID status.
That is incredible. Okay, look, it's not foolproof, right? I mean,
no,
90% still implies that there is a 10% error rate.
Yes.
But if they're able to do that with what? It's a conjunction of what, AI and the app, right? Something
Pretty much,
like that.
Yeah, it's machine learning and AI.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Edward and I have both read about this, obviously. And my understanding is that in addition to what the ring already picks up, as in your actual physiology, there's an app that accompanies it where you track your stress, anxiety, memory, and other psychological effects.
Yes.
And these in conjunction with the AI predict if you've got COVID-19, right? That's technically how it works.
Exactly.
Oh, look, that's cool. You see, the reason why I like this is because this is useful technology. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good technology. It's essentially just a Fitbit on your ring finger.
I was just going to say, you know, this means nothing until Apple does it. Because
that's why I say Fitbit.
That's why I'm that like Apple fanboy person. Look, we also mentioned in a previous episode, I think, but Apple are working with Google in terms of COVID-19, not just research, but tracking as
Yes, on that front, both Apple and Google already released the API for developers, and there are a number
That's
of
awesome.
apps already out there. You can download. Unfortunately, not in South Africa. I already checked, but in the Americas and in Europe,
Yeah.
there are a bunch of apps.
You see, if you live in a third world country, determining if you have COVID-19 or not is very traditional. And by traditional, I mean it's a giant ass swab that goes into your nose and touches
Yeah,
the back of your throat.
it's super analog.
And it costs a lot of money.
Yeah. So
with COVID-19 on the mind, something else that we picked up on this week is how there is a new paint that actually kills coronavirus. So in addition to a ring that can tell you if you might have it, you can now paint the walls in your house to destroy COVID-19.
I wonder if you can buy this locally.
No.
I see. It's a Singapore-based manufacturer.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
It's called Virus Guard Plus,
Of course.
apparently it has antimicrobial properties which destroy coronavirus on walls. Now, let's be a little bit realistic about this. As cool as it is, I mean, it's only if somebody coughs on the wall.
Yeah,
So-
if you cough and lick the wall. So it's super situational, I suppose.
You look, maybe this would be good for like patient rooms, for
No,
doctors and things
you
like
know what
that.
it is good for?
What?
For public transport.
Oh, that's so true.
Bec-
Yes.
Remember when this only the COVID only broke out and everyone were doing like challenges, licking stuff and
Well, the idiots in the world.
yeah. So this would be perfect for that.
I didn't even think about that. That's actually a perfect place for it. Is public
Yeah.
transport.
Yeah.
Wow. Look, for those of you who are interested, apparently the way the paint works is it has encapsulated copper ions, which destroy the capsid protein layer of the COVID-19 virus.
Yeah.
And that causes the genetic material to, it prevents it from multiplying, so therefore it can't reproduce.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's a step in the right direction, right? I mean, who knows? Before you know it, maybe this could be nail polish. I don't know how that'll help, but...
Well, they say you shouldn't touch all your your face and stuff. So if you have it on your nails, maybe that allows you to
I
touch
don't
your
know.
face
Who
again.
knows? I mean, it's paint that kills COVID-19. I guess who knows what else is going to come out of this pandemic
Yeah.
that we're in at the moment. It's really innovative.
I think.
Yeah, I'll tell you what is also coming out of this situation.
Yeah.
Some nudie pics of Jen Aniston.
You mean of the leaky kind, or
Okay. So, look. Jennifer Aniston and nudity, she's a little bit like the unicorn of celebrities because people have always wanted to see her bare her bits.
Mhm.
And despite having quite an illustrious career, she hasn't really bared any of her bits and, of her own choosing. And I really respect her for this.
Mhm.
Well, because of COVID-19, she feels that she wants to raise money for the COVID-19 relief fund.
Which is good.
Yes, of course. It's a great
Amicable.
initiative.
Yeah.
Amicable initiative, I guess. I mean, listen, hell, if I had nudes that could bring in money, you best bet I'd be selling them as well.
Exactly.
Okay?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, I'm sorry for derailing this now, but if I were a female celebrity, because I know no one want to see my man bits, if I were a female celebrity, I'd do an OnlyFans for times like this, for like COVID and all the movements out there currently.
Yes,
And-
but Edward, if you did, you'd be cancelled.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be open with my body and HBO would hire me. I don't care if Disney doesn't hire me anymore.
That's so true. You know what? I totally agree with you. Nudity is overrated.
Yeah.
It's just the body. We must accept it, and it's beautiful, whether
Yes.
male or female. Our forms are beautiful.
Now,
So, look, with that in mind, and speaking of forms, I must also note that she's not totally naked in this photo.
yes.
It's very tasteful.
Yes.
They describe it as a racy throwback photo.
Which, hey, if I can hang that on my wall while my grandparents are visiting, I don't mind.
Well, I mean, look, it makes sense. I mean, I didn't think that she would go full frontal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, why? You know, there's some nice, you know, it's sexier. I mean, okay, I'll be speaking from a male's point of view, right? This is why lingerie is so hot.
Yeah.
Because it covers it up.
Exactly.
You know?
On this note as well, I saw a tweet the other day where they said, like, the full frontal and is out. No one wants to see that anymore. Everyone wants to see the side boob nowadays. And I
yes.
totally agree. Like, I'm all for that side boob.
Look, it's all got to do with, you know, like the mystery and the intrigue.
Yes.
You know, it's so much nicer. Well, look, obviously this is personal opinion. You know, some people might just like to, you know, show everything out. You know,
wham bam.
More power to you. You
Yeah.
know, if that's what you prefer, you know, so be it. But I kind of like that, like, you know, it's hidden and you can't really see it, and then there's like it's very sexy, like sex appeal behind it. You know,
Pretty much.
Anyway,
that constant tease.
well, I mean, not necessarily the teasing, just the mystery. You know, you never really know what it looks like, and that to me is better than just boom, see it. Okay, you're done now. Bye.
Yeah.
You know?
You leave that for the bedroom.
Yeah. Yeah, because you see, the thing is, if you do that, you can then admire it. You
Exactly.
know, if you're in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Look, speaking of, it's funny that you actually went in that direction.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And also, weirdly enough, still on the topic of COVID-19, Harvard, of all the places in the world,
Yeah.
all right, have put together a guide for how to have sex in the pandemic.
I can think of a few ways.
Okay, so the gist of the article is that if you are promiscuous, in the sense of you like to have multiple sexual partners and you're not monogamous to a degree,
Mm-hmm.
that you really should, you know, restrain yourself during this time.
Wear some protection.
And if you can't restrain yourself for whatever reason, do your best not to swap fluids. Personally, I have no idea how that's going to be possible.
Yeah.
But the guide essentially is, you know, use prophylactics like condoms. Obviously, that's A. And B, make sure you have a mask on. Now, this is funny because I'm pretty sure there are kinks out there which use masks already. So,
Masks
y'all are
and-
sorted.
Masks and full body latex.
Yes.
Like,
So if you have that, you guys are sorted. You're good. You're good to go. You do whatever you like. Okay.
well, also no, because sometime a little bit needs to open up so the climaxing can be done.
Oh my gosh. Yes. That is true.
So just don't do that.
But no, well, climax in your suit.
Okay, yeah, do that.
Anyway, it's an interesting article. It's a little bit of a no-brainer in many ways. I mean, like, they talk about how if you're at home with a significant other, you know, in somewhat of a monogamous relationship, obviously, if the two of you are together, you can obviously be intimate. I mean, it's a no-brainer. And they do also mention that if you're single, that you're better off pleasuring yourself versus going to look for pleasure in other places.
Oh yeah,
Because
for sure.
just like STDs, you don't know what people have until it's too late.
Yep.
Okay?
And even beforehand, if they tell you, listen, this is all I have, just stay away regardless. Don't think that little piece of rubber is going to protect you from the Rona.
Exactly. You know, just use common sense.
Yeah,
You
pretty
know?
much.
I mean, it is out there. Just look after yourselves. If you're intimate with somebody, just take extra precautions. I mean, I know we've mentioned sanitizer in the past, and a lot of it because we use it on a daily basis, but you know, there are certain parts of your body you don't want to be sanitizing because it's not going to end well.
Yeah, there are rules to cleaning certain bits of your body, and don't spray sanitizer on it, please.
Exactly, because milk is not going to cure that burn. Okay.
Yeah, speaking of weird kinks, have you ever heard of bathingmymilk.com, Hans?
No, I mean, I am aware of like the properties of milk being good for you. I mean, like Cleopatra used to bathe in like donkey milk, apparently.
Like,
so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me show you something incredibly creepy. Okay.
Okay.
If you visit bathingmymilk.com, you're gonna get a website where an old lady, I'm not sure what her name is advertising for men only, mind you, to bathe in their choice of soy, almond, or traditional milk while she's watching. And here's a bonus: they can even use her sponge. And
is this for real?
I don't know if it's real or a troll, but the website is filled with pictures of men just being
bathed in milk.
Well, men sitting in a bathroom while this old lady is standing over them, and yeah, it's creepy.
This sounds like an OnlyFans with extra steps.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. It's so weird. Gosh.
Look, okay, honestly speaking, would you do that? Like, would you... Okay, first of all, would you respond to an ad like that?
No. I hate that I have to give it some thought. But
Okay, wait. Here's the more pertinent question.
Yeah.
Which milk would you use? Soy, almond, or traditional?
Cow's milk, baby.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like... number one, I don't like soy milk. And number two, I don't know if almond milk will affect me the same way that almonds do.
Oh, because just you're allergic.
Yes. But also, cow's milk is just the best.
Well, look, something interesting about that, and the reason why I would pick cow's milk is because it actually has retinol in it. And I don't know if you know anything about skin beauty products, but most of them have retinol because it's an anti-aging oxidant. Yeah, so that actually, like, if you think about it, it gives credence to what Cleopatra did all the way back, all of those thousands of years ago. She was actually onto genuine,
skincare.
Yes.
But she was like the most beautiful queen of them all, anyway.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. We weren't around then. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But, well, all the men in these pictures, they look kind of good, except for, like, the sizable ones.
Oh, my gosh.
So.
Look, as always, we will link below so that you can check out this bathing and milk thing and let us know if you would do it. I'm genuinely curious to our listeners if you'd actually do this, like, and if you did, what milk would you use? I mean, let us know.
Okay, so number one, would you do it knowing the old lady will watch? And which milk would you do it in?
Please let us know those two.
Yeah,
the answers to those two questions. By the way, I didn't tell you if I'd let her watch me.
I
did mention I'd use real milk.
Yeah.
No, I'm a bit of a prude.
Don't be like that. Gotta give an old lady her dues.
No, let's. Okay, look. Now on this whole like milk topic, we're going to move on to water, just because it's a fluid, I guess.
Yeah.
I discovered something super interesting this week, and it has to do with hot and cold water. Now, just speaking of water in general, I am a hydro homie. In other words, I absolutely love water. It's probably one of my favorite things to drink because I feel it's the only thing that actually quenches my thirst.
Is that...
Despite the fact that I love coffee.
Is that the actual term for it? Hydro homie?
It's something I picked up on Reddit.
So you're
shout out to the hydro homies.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Anyway, water is awesome. I'm one of the people that likes it at room temperature, but like my mom, for example, will only drink water from the fridge. So it's really one of those weird preferences. And of course, now I'm spiraling and talking about all sorts of stuff. Anyway, the whole reason why I want to bring up the hot and cold is because get this, and I didn't realize this until I actually tried it out, and I'm going to do that for you guys now who are listening as well. But Apparently, the human ear can tell the difference between hot and cold water when it's being poured.
How though?
So apparently this has to do with the viscosity of the water, which goes down as temperature increases. And because of that, it'll make a different sound when it's poured into a glass.
That's so weird.
Well, I mean, we're not just going to talk about it. We're actually going to find out if you, our listeners, can tell the difference. So we're going to play 2 clips. We're going to do clip A and clip B. And then we're going to ask you which one you think it was. And then we're going to reveal which was which. Are you ready, Edward?
Yes.
And listeners?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's do it. So this is clip A. Okay, that was clip A. Now we're going to listen to clip B. Okay, there we go. So you've listened to A and you've listened to B.
And now you tell us, or well, before we reveal the answers anyway, think to yourselves which one was the hot one and which one was the cold one.
Okay, I'm hoping that's enough time for all of you to decide. And if you said that A was cold, you'd be wrong. It's hot. So A was hot water and B was cold water. Definitely let us know if you got it right or if you got it wrong, and just how fascinating it is that something as simple as the heat in water and how it makes the molecules move and changes the viscosity, how just that simple act can, that we can pick it up.
It's fascinating.
That, like, how incredible the human body is, because, I mean, I never realized this.
Yeah.
Until this came around, I never once thought of listening to cold versus hot water.
I never thought it was a thing.
Well, I mean, right?
Like, obviously there are certain things in life that you just know what they are when you listen to them. And I bet most of us knew exactly the difference between hot or cold water. But we never thought about the difference between hot or cold water.
You're right. It's like just a sound that you subconsciously are aware of. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yes, like knowing your mom's car is passing by the house or whatever. You just know that's the sound it makes without actually thinking about it.
Yes, exactly. Those familiar sounds.
Yeah.
Now, look, talking about sounds, I'm curious. I have a question for you. What would you consider a satisfying sound?
Okay, well, you know which sound I liked. It's a sound that I really like, but I don't know if it's satisfying to that degree.
Okay.
But you know that Australian outback noise, that twang rong or whatever they call it. It's an instrument.
Are you referring to the didgeridoo?
Yes. Now that's a sound that I really like, but I don't think it's a satisfying sound.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to think about satisfying sounds now as well. And now that I'm on the spot and talking to you, I can't think of anything.
Exactly. You know it goes.
I mean,
like even popping my joints, it's not satisfying sound. It's not satisfying to hear it, but it's satisfying to feel it.
All of a sudden I'm thinking of smell.
Yes. Yeah. That's the very first thing that we
Like I'm thinking of how coffee is a satisfying smell, but I'm like, that's not a sound.
Exactly.
Okay, well, look, on my side, and I know this might sound a little strange, but when I go to bed every evening, I actually ask Siri, I just said that really quietly, otherwise it'll activate all over my house. I always ask her to play ocean sounds to go to sleep. And I actually I find them very satisfying. I find them soothing.
Well, on that note, I find Lady Gaga's telephone very soothing.
Okay, that's a whole song. Essentially, the reason why I'm asking you this is because there's a musician by the name of Dan Mace. You actually mentioned him to me before. You said he works with Casey Neistat, right?
Yes, he does.
Well, he's also South African, which I didn't know about until I came across this video. And essentially what he does, or what he's famous for, is recording unique and strange sounds. You know, like nails falling on the floor, that kind of thing.
Yes, yeah.
Anyway, what he's done is he's actually taken ASMR sounds that people find incredibly satisfying and turned it into a song. For those who might not know, ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. And it's essentially, if you've ever had goosies when listening to music or a particular sound, that is ASMR. It's where you like react. Some people get so off on it that they actually orgasm.
Yeah.
Not to go back into that NSFW, but so I have even delved in ASMR for my YouTube channel. I did one for the Logitech G815 keyboard, and I have another video planned in the future. I don't know if I'll ever get to it. But anyway, not to go off topic, he's made the song from what people consider satisfying sounds, and we're going to play a little bit for you right now.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Marvelous music.
Okay, there we go. So that was Dan Mace turning ASMR sounds into music. And if you listened really carefully, you would have heard things like camera shutter, golf swings, harps, breaking of eggs, biting into an apple. Yes, Velcro, even David Attenborough's voice. Look, let's be honest, the guy's voice is unmistakable.
Yeah.
It's like James Earl Jones and Darth Vader / Mufasa.
And
right?
Mufasa.
Man, that guy, I honestly hope that an AI or something can just learn his voice so that we never have to lose it.
Yes.
Because it is just incredible.
Actually, there are a few. It's James Earl Jones, David Attenborough, and Morgan Freeman. That's voices I never want to lose.
Well, look, I just thought this was fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm new to the world of ASMR. I can't say it's something that I purposefully go out and listen to. But I just thought this was really cool. I mean, to make a song, technically a song, out of sounds that people enjoy. And again, with this in mind, tell us what are your favorite sounds.
Yeah.
I mean, every week we do like a lot of interesting segments. And obviously this episode, for whatever reason, is becoming quite interactive.
It's filled with experimental segments.
We genuinely love hearing from all of you. And it really, it lights our faces up and our voices as well, I'd like to think, when we get feedback from you guys, whether it's on Twitter or email or direct message, even on Instagram, which has happened before.
Or the random stalker house drop.
Look, it's just really great and we love it. So if you are listening, definitely let us know what your favorite sound is, or what you would, orgasm over. If that's the right way of looking at it.
The sounds of my significant other sleeping.
Or listen. While we're on sounds, did you see the Tesla coil thing?
I was about to mention that. I thought leading from one song into another was a good thing, but I guess sound works as well.
Well, I mean, it works perfectly.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I did see it and it's fascinating. It's amazing.
So essentially what's happened is there's this YouTube channel by a company called Franzoli Electronics. It might not be a company, it might actually be an individual.
Yeah, it might.
And what he did is he set up dual high voltage Tesla coils. For those who might not know, a Tesla coil is an electrical resonant transformer circuit. I know that's like a really long-winded, name.
They're essentially towers that emit electricity.
And it was developed by Nikola Tesla in the, I think, 1890s. And it's really cool. And you can use them to produce either high or low voltage currents. And depending on the voltage, you can actually make sound from them. When the conduction actually moves from one Tesla coil to the next.
Exactly. Like electricity has a sound, and we all know how frightening that can be. But if you've ever heard a Tesla coil, it sounds actually great. Like it goes vap, and it has this weird scratch to it.
A very satisfying sound, wouldn't you say?
Actually, yes. It's weird how that works.
Well, look, essentially what this person did is he played Toto's Africa
Yes.
using Tesla coils, and we want you to listen to that right now.
Down in Africa.
And there we go. Thank you, Edward, for serenading us a little bit right there at the end.
It's so good though. It's a good video.
I love how people can do such ingenious things.
Yes.
You know, it's just so cool. I mean, who thought that putting 2 Tesla coils like that and playing Toto's Africa? I mean, like, you know why? But I'm glad that they did it.
Exactly.
You know?
Like, when you first hear of it, you're like, why even bother? But all for our benefit.
Well, yeah, exactly. Now, with the whole Tesla coil thing in mind and Nikola Tesla, I'm sure many of you are aware of Tesla, the company helmed by Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Well, we would be remiss if we didn't speak about SpaceX, their sister company, and what they achieved this week.
Yes.
Hey?
It's amazing. So for the first time in human history, we finally have a private company in space.
Yes.
So what happened is, when was it? On Friday?
So it was actually supposed to be Thursday the 28th.
Yes.
But
there we
it
go.
was postponed to Saturday the 30th of May. And for good reason. Because this was the first time that SpaceX is actually sending humans into space.
Yeah.
So a lot of historic firsts. So not only first time that it's a commercial company, but also first time that they had humans on board.
That a commercial company had humans on board.
Oh yes, that's what I was.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Because I mean, we had humans in space.
Well, yes.
Flat
well,
Earthers
I mean, not
looking
if
at
you're
you.
a conspiracy theorist. Oh yes. Oh my gosh. Did you see the comments? People were like, "Flat Earthers be like, you know,
Like
when they see the
with the
curvature of
eyes, with that Muppet."
Anyway, so it's really it's just such an incredible feat that we have a commercial company that's doing this. B, the first time they've taken humans into the into space, but more so that these rockets are reusable, because it only took like 10 minutes for the bulk of the actual rocket that took them up to come back to Earth. And I thought that was fascinating. And when I say came back to Earth, not like in the past where these things used to break up in the atmosphere and then they had to fish them out of the ocean.
And just fall to the sea, yeah.
I mean, we're talking about this thing landing, okay, so that it can be used again. It's just absolutely fascinating.
It is honestly amazing.
Look, if you want to read more about this, including, you know, what the astronauts Doug Hurley and Bob I hope I said that correctly.
Benkin.
What they went through and, you know, how cool the experience was for them, specifically in terms of all of the modern technology that is inside of this this Dragon spacecraft.
The Falcon 9.
Yeah, we'll obviously link below. And now there's something else, actually, in addition to the fact that we went into space, that I came across this week. It's called the overview effect.
Okay.
Now, do you remember in one of the previous episodes we spoke about DMT?
Yes.
And that drug,
Yeah.
which some people who were on it, they felt that they could speak to either extraterrestrials or some sort of a divine
Higher
being.
beings.
And yes, and where like atheists then turned towards religion because they felt that they couldn't not be something else. Well, apparently astronauts have a very similar experience called the overview effect. And this only happens when they, in whatever shuttle they're in or spacecraft, when they actually look back at the Earth. Apparently this gaze at, looking back at the Earth is just called the overview effect. And the new astronauts from the recent SpaceX launch actually spoke about it as well. And they described the feeling in a recent interview with CNBC. And they just said that it's remarkable to see the planet and shared atmosphere that they come from in the infinite, blackness of space.
That's cool. It makes you truly appreciate our little spot in the universe.
Well, I mean, look, this is the thing. So we haven't found any other existence of life anywhere in the universe. So we have to think one of two things. Okay, despite the fact that the Pentagon revealed aliens, we're not going to talk about that right now.
Yeah. Like let's forego that for a second.
Yes. Look, there's only two ways to view humanity in the universe. We are either completely alone, and there is no one else, or there is extraterrestrial life, and we just haven't made contact yet. Now, all science points towards the first notion, despite, unidentified flying objects having been recorded, okay? We haven't, actually heard from an alien or spoken to one, so we can't confirm their existence. And so if you think about it like that, if you imagine that we are all there is, it's quite a sobering thought.
I guess. I'm just hoping for that in another 129 years, humanity will find a Mass Effect relay in Pluto's orbit and, discover aliens.
Yes, and then we can somehow jettison off into other far-reaching spaces of the universe.
That's my ultimate hope, that we aren't alone.
Look, something interesting to also, just to add to this, is that according to psychologists, the effect is, it's not just a matter of idle curiosity. In other words, it's not just you, or it's not just astronauts looking back at the Earth and being like, oh, that's, incredible. Like, ooh, that's just us.
Yeah.
But they say that it could actually be an essential part of maintaining mental health on long duration space missions.
To look back.
Yes, to essentially look back and realize that blue orb is the whole of humanity. We are not anywhere else. If we destroy the Earth, if we don't look after each other and respect each other, there isn't going to be anything else.
Do you think if every single person were to at least have this experience once in their lives, like let's say it's a coming of age thing, do you think they would respect the planet more?
In other words, do I think that if we could do this to every citizen of the planet, if we would all come back with a different mindset and mind share of not only the planet, but of each other?
Yeah, like let's say right after high school, every single person gets the opportunity to see the Earth at least once and then go back home and do the usual thing.
I would say that initial spacefaring generation would be impacted in that positive respect. However, much like anything, and, in terms of humanity, when we become used to something, we take it for granted.
Yeah.
So I would say that a couple of generations after that, whereby you have people who, let's say, go to the moon and back for the weekend, seeing the Earth from a distance would no longer have the same impact, sadly.
I get that.
That's, I mean, I don't mean to be jaded
No,
about it, but
makes so much sense.
It's just, if you really think about human nature and what people are like, I would imagine that that's what would happen.
Yeah.
The wonder and the beauty of the Earth would slowly fade in time, unfortunately. But of course, I would imagine that would take generations, because right now, as you mentioned before, SpaceX is a private company. And of course, only the wealthy right now would be able to take advantage of it. So maybe that would be a good thing. Hey, who knows? Maybe some of these, I mean, not to say that all wealthy people are selfish a-holes, but you never know. Maybe a couple of them could go up, see this, and then come back with a renewed purpose to actually save the Earth instead of destroy it.
I would hope so.
I mean, that might be a bit of a naive way of looking at things.
It's naive,
or maybe
but you can hope.
Optimistic.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of my naivete,
you're slowly losing it as you die.
As I get older. I came across the fact that someone out there in the world, especially in Brazil, is putting down life-sized statues of Pokemon.
Which is, to me, such a weird concept, because who is...
No, how cool!
No, okay, fine, this is cool, what they're doing, but the fact that no one knows who this is, or where they come from, or how they even transport these things, it baffles my mind.
Well, look, all I look at it when I hear you say that is that this is just the Banksy of Pokemon. Okay, because nobody knows who Banksy is, or who they are, or what they do. And this is just the Banksy of Pokemon.
And they're leaving
Nobody knows who this
cool as Charizard statues out in the
yes,
wild.
But not just Charizard. There's Pikachu, there's Mew, there's a whole large variety. I think there's around about 7 or 8 of these things.
Are they life-size?
Well, for the most part, yes.
Jeez.
I mean, how incredible is that? Hey?
Gosh.
Look, if I had the means and the resources, okay, I'd go to space. But other than that, I mean, I would totally do this as well. I just think it's so cool. You know, and I'd also remain anonymous. I wouldn't want credit for it. I just want to do it to lighten up people's lives.
Imagine
you know?
getting a Mewtwo statue for your birthday.
Is it life size?
Yeah. No, of course. In this manner. Like, you don't know, but someone just drops a Mewtwo statue in your lawn the morning you wake up.
I accept, thank you.
That's so
Whoever you are, kind stranger.
Well, I can't drop Mewtwo statues in your lawn, unfortunately.
Yes, we know, lockdown.
But I can collect some interesting questions for the listeners to have you answer.
Oh my gosh, I saw you do this earlier.
So I figured instead of ending off the way we usually do by just bantering on about some random shit,
Pokemon in this respect.
yeah, I would rather collect a bunch of questions from some of our listeners, and we can let all the listeners out there hear more from you and weird, quirky stuff about you for your birthday.
Thank you, Edward. That's very kind of you.
I mean,
and a really cool idea. I'm not gonna lie, I dig it.
Now, obviously, I promise it won't be weird, out of the blue questions that might get you cancelled.
Okay, now
it's just some interesting stuff.
My anxiety is rising.
No, don't worry. It's all just basically Geeky Sphere related stuff. So
okay, cool. Okay, I'm down. I'm ready.
Okay,
awesome.
cool. So the first person that was kind enough to send me some stuff is Tegan from Australia.
Oh,
and he
awesome.
sent me 3 questions for you. Now,
okay.
the first question is, if you could jump into the life of any superhero, who or what would it be and why?
Superman.
Okay, that's surprising actually. Why? Why would it be Superman?
Because to me, Superman represents a lot. You know, I find myself, I guess, like many fans around the world, sort of gravitating towards the kind of person that he is.
Okay.
You know, some might say that he's a little bit of a, too much of a goody two-shoes or whatever, but he really has a great view on the world.
Yeah.
You know, he restrains himself so much despite the fact that he's so immensely powerful.
Yeah.
And I respect that. You know, I mean, in addition to that, it's his abilities.
Yeah.
I mean, I have often, and like many people I'm sure, have dreamt of flying. And it's one of the few feelings that I've never really lost, and I've always sort of, gravitated towards. And, when you think about his other abilities, like, the impenetrable skin and the super speed, and, I guess it's not that he's a safe choice. He's just really the one superhero that
the perfect
I would really, really dig, I mean, many people would have thought I would say Thor.
Yes, that's what I thought you would say.
Now, I mean, Thor is cool and all, and he's great, but I don't know, there's just something about Superman. I don't know what it is.
That's cool.
Okay, Thor has a cooler outfit. I'll definitely say that. I don't really feel like going out in spandex everywhere, but,
That's debatable.
Yeah, I'd say, look, overall, like his overall abilities and stuff like that, I would say Superman. I dig him a lot as a character.
Okay, that's cool. Even if that means adopting his entire life. Like, you get Lois, you get the press, you get all his villains.
Oh, of course. The question is jumping into
yes.
a person's life.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Oh my! So can you guys tell I didn't really listen properly when
Yeah.
Edward was there? Oh, well, that's a little bit different, I guess. But again, at the same time, Superman's got a good life.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't. It's not exactly. It's not like Batman with no parents. You know.
Oh.
Well,
Burn.
but then again, he does have loads of money, so that's a definite happy making scenario.
Well, honestly, your first answer was nice. I would still accept that.
Look, I would still say Superman. I mean,
Cool.
Lois Lane is a wonderful lady, you know, and I know they have a happy life together. And kryptonite's the only weakness. I mean, that's cool. I'm down with
Okay, that's cool. Okay, the second question: what do you think is your spirit animal? Now, this question is basically as broad as you think it is.
that. In terms of animals, do they have to be real or imaginary?
I don't think that matters
in-
in this context.
Oh, so anything
The-
then. So in other words, like,
I'm taking the question at face value.
Wow, that's actually a very good question. My spirit animal.
Okay, so
Okay, who am I kidding? It's Mewtwo.
okay, that's fair. That's very fair.
Okay, but let me give the question a little bit of a real answer. Okay, so that would be my like animated fictional creature,
Okay.
right? If I had to pick a real world one, I would say a Utahraptor,
A,
a dinosaur.
a dinosaur. A what? What's its name?
Okay, so I'm a huge fan of Jurassic Park.
Yes.
So, I mean, this comes as no surprise to anyone of my family who might be listening that I would pick a dinosaur to be my spirit animal. So, there's a big misconception in terms of Jurassic Park in the sense of the velociraptors that they showed were actually Utahraptors. And real velociraptors are actually quite small. I've obviously am a huge fan of Jurassic Park, and I fell in love with all of the dinosaurs that they depicted, specifically their version of a velociraptor, which in the real world is a Utahraptor. So that would be, I guess, my choice. I mean, it was a bit of a tough one because I kind of love the T-Rex as well. I mean, I know, again, like some of these options that I'm busy mentioning are very much like what a lot of other people might pick. You know, it's not exciting. It's not like Brachiosaurus or Triceratops or Pachycephalosaurus or Ankylosaurus or anything like that.
I'm just hearing foreign words spoken to me right now. So
yeah. So a little small known fact again, which my family would attest to, much to their chagrin, is that I used to pretend to be a dinosaur as a kid, which is why I would definitely say, Utahraptor is my spirit animal, because I actually, like, honestly personified the Jurassic Park Velociraptor as a kid. I mean, I'm talking about, I had the call and the shouts and the movements, like, down.
did you also have one of those Jurassic Park hand puppets of the T-Rex?
Edward, if I could show you all the Jurassic Park stuff I had, I think your mind would be blown a little bit. I think we lost most of them in the fire, but like one of my favorite toys was the original 1993 T-Rex Jurassic Park toy that I bought on our very first trip ever to the United States. It was just, I remember we went to Universal Studios and the Jurassic Park ride wasn't working at the time, but the shop was open. And I remember buying it, and it's just what... they don't make toys like they used to anymore. I mean, I know I'm diverging now from the topic, but it was just something that I'll always remember. And I mean, look, I had everything. I had the hand puppets. I had the little keyring things. Just the toys. I had everything. Everything Jurassic Park. I had it.
I guess what you become what you buy the first time you go to the States, because you bought a Jurassic Park thing. And I bought a little Gundam collectible, and I'm a weep today, and you're a dinosaur lover today.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, yeah, it totally influenced me. The movie had a really big impact. I still remember collecting. If anybody is as old as I am, you'll remember long before internet and proliferation of technology. they used to have these monthly books that you could, not books, like magazines that you could collect. And I had the full dinosaurs collection, which had like every single dinosaur that was currently in existence, and it spoke about archaeology, and you could actually collect dinosaur bones, which were made out of plastic, but they glowed in the dark. And I remember building up the T-Rex and having that in my room.
That's cool. That's cool.
So yeah, spirit animal, yeah, I would definitely say a Utahraptor.
I appreciate that. And then the last question is from Tegan, is what is your best career achievement so far?
Career achievement?
Yes.
Wow, geez, Tegan.
Getting philosophical.
Look, this one's quite a tough
Yeah.
one, because I wouldn't say that I'm in the kind of career where, you know, you can climb the ranks.
Yeah.
So I can't exactly be like, oh, well, you know, I'm CEO.
Yeah, I became the boss.
I mean, okay, well, I am, because I made the companies myself, but that's not what we're talking about here. So I would maybe say a career highlight would be having gone to E3.
Okay.
I dreamed about going to that kind of an event for as long as I can remember. I mean, I remember buying all of the, you know, magazines back in the day before we even had internet access, and reading about what was coming. You know, I still remember getting like the PlayStation magazine and telling us about the PlayStation 2 and, you know, stuff like that. And there would always be, you know, months later, of course, because South Africa is always so backwards.
Yeah.
We'd get the news from E3 about all of the new technologies and the games and things like that. So yeah, that for me was a huge dream of mine, and I am very happy to say that 2013 I was able to make that happen.
That's cool.
Thanks to, you know, famous.com, we were big enough or popular enough to actually get accredited, and yeah, I went through for the first time, and I think I will always remember that. So I would say maybe that's a career highlight.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah, versus an achievement, I'll say it's a highlight.
Okay, cool. And then the second person who came back to me with 3 more questions is Crystal from Benoni.
Okay.
Now, the first question is, what is the first thing you would do if you wake up in your favorite MMORPG?
Check to see if I could brush my teeth.
That's I actually thought something along those lines.
No, but I mean, like, so the thing is, often in, you know, movies and TV shows and that, they never show the characters.
Yes,
or,
the menial things.
You know, doing any of the normal stuff. Yes. So, I mean, look, granted, there's a good chance that just wouldn't happen because the designers of the games would have to program that in.
Yeah.
But let's assume that now this is like a Matrix scenario where I'm put into this character and I can do whatever I want. You know, like I have control of the game code. Mm-hmm. I guess that would be it. I would to see if I could do menial things.
That's actually super cool. Okay. The second question. Who is your favorite cartoon evil villain, and who will you ship them with from other TV series?
Ooh, that's awesome. Okay, cartoon. So it has to be from...
So it must be a cartoon
anything.
Evil villain, but you can ship them with anyone from any TV series.
Does Final Fantasy VII count as a cartoon?
No.
Advent Children?
No, Advent Children would be anime, I guess.
Okay, that's reaching, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's got to be animated. So like cartoon. So either anime or something from way back in the past.
I would accept
right?
anime. Yeah.
Favorite villain, right?
Favorite evil villain, yes.
Cell from Dragon Ball Z.
Okay. And who would you partner them with?
And who would I ship Cell with?
Yes.
Ooh, can I say Mewtwo?
You can indeed. I just want to see this Rule 34. I was so curious about your answer for this.
Oh my gosh, can you actually do that?
I'm certain it exists somewhere. Okay, that's super cool. Cell and Mewtwo, I can just imagine.
I'm sure everyone is seeing a trend here because they're very similarly designed.
You're basically answering one of the later questions. Okay, so
my
Crystal's
gosh.
third question. Would you rather only be able to use a fork, so no spoon or anything else, or only be able to
Okay.
use a spoon with no fork or anything else?
Fork. Definitely fork.
Why?
So I'm not a big fan of soup.
Okay.
And I feel that a fork is more versatile.
Yes.
Because, so a little known fact for people out there, and I'm revealing a lot about myself now. I sometimes am overly clean, so I don't often like to get my hands dirty, and I don't mean that in a metaphorical sense. I mean that literally. So, I will sometimes, for example, if let's say it's something that I can eat at a distance, I will take the fork, spike it on, and eat it like a corn on the cob.
Well, there you go.
So that I don't have to touch it.
So I thought it would be a hard answer, but it's actually way easier for you.
Yeah, it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
like, how much have I actually thought about these
Exactly.
things?
All these weird things.
And just in case anyone's wondering, I honestly have not heard any of these until now.
Yes,
So
it's all a surprise. That's cool. That's cool. Moving on, the third person who came back to me is Ian. He's an avid listener, and he also came back with 3 questions. So I don't know what happened, but it's a weird trend that I just got 3 questions from everyone.
Okay, no, that's cool. Okay.
Okay, so Ian's first question is, what would you remove from social media? Be it a feature, a platform, a challenge, a person, a past or present, and why?
Remove. I know what I would add.
Okay, but remove. Specifically remove.
An edit button to Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter, if you're listening, please.
Wouldn't we all?
What I would remove?
Yes.
I would remove
One feature.
like.
Or anything.
But I mean, okay, it's technically a universal feature.
Okay.
And it would be anything related to the ability to see how often or how much somebody has liked something.
Ah.
So, for example, take YouTube videos. Just do away with the up and down, thumbs up and thumbs down.
Yeah.
I think it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
The same as tweets. Tweets, you never used to be able to like a tweet. Like, why? Why now? In the past, it used to be if you enjoyed a tweet, you'd retweet
Yeah.
it. Same as Facebook. I think the reactions are dumb because I kind of want a shake my head reaction most of the time.
So it's only dumb until you get what you want.
No, honestly, they shouldn't have that. And the reason for that is because social media is designed to make you feel
Yes.
good. And unfortunately, all of these mechanics do that. How many likes did I get on this post? And then that, it translates into your brain as
I get what you're
a good
saying,
feeling.
but at the end of the day, it makes you feel bad.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Because, I didn't get as much likes as so-and-so. So then that makes you feel inadequate. And I don't like, in particular, that aspect of social media. Our posts shouldn't be about how much people are going to like them.
Yeah.
Because that takes away from how real social media can be. And that is rather unfortunate today. Because that's how everything is geared.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many views did you get? How many likes
Exactly.
did you get?
It's all
Yeah.
just that metrics.
Yeah, that would be what I would remove.
Now, the second is, if you could force all software and or games to have one feature or follow one standard, what would it be and why?
One games, all software.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, I know what I'd want for this. A you've been away mode.
Ah.
So no matter what it is you pick up. So let's say you were playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Anyone who has played it knows how difficult the control scheme is.
Yeah.
Now, in the beginning, while you're playing, you get used to it. And the more you play, the more the control scheme becomes second nature. But then life happens and you don't play. And you forget to go back to the game for, let's say, 2, 3, 4 months. I mean, a very similar situation happened to me in The Witcher 3. So then like a couple of months later, you're like, oh, cool, let me jump back into the game. So you do. but you cannot remember how to play.
Yeah.
So I would love for there to be a standard, and for all software, because honestly, this applies to almost everything. I mean, imagine you used to use Photoshop a lot, and then you know, life happens and you don't go to Photoshop for like 6-8 months, and then you eventually go back. You know, you might forget some of your commands or keys, you know, that kind of thing. So it really could be applied to anything and everything.
Yeah.
I would love a mode or something that just pops up and says, oh, hey, you haven't played in a while, like let's say a month, you know, or 3 weeks, or whatever the case is. Would you like a refresher?
That's so cool.
And then that refresher goes through what you missed. So if, let's say, it was Red Dead Redemption and you were 3/4 of the way through the game, right? What the feature would do is give you a recap of the story up until that point, number one, and then B, show you how to play again. You know, it's kind of like what series do. You know, like when you finish like season 1 of something, you have to wait a year for the second season. But when season 2 rolls around, there's always that pre-video saying previously on.
Yeah, and then they go through the important bits.
Yes. So I would love something like that for software.
Yeah, I get that. It should be as common as a pause button or something.
Yeah, exactly. It should just be natively in the software.
I like that.
You know, so then you never have to worry about forgetting something. You know, you can always go back and feel good. You know, you don't have to feel ancient or obsolete.
Yeah. Okay, that's actually super interesting. And then a third question from Ian is, which video game mechanic would you like implemented in real life and why?
Oh, the revive system. free lives.
As long as it's not like monkey's paw, something.
Monkey's paw?
So basically the idea is that everything has repercussions. So if someone died and you bring them back,
I see.
They're all zombified or whatever.
Oh, I see. Yes. No, I'm just talking about you have a finite number of revives. So, you know... Oh, but you see now, this doesn't work. Because now I'm thinking of the social mechanics. Like how the more likes you have, the more hearts you have to live.
Ah, yeah. I have more one-ups than you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's... Look, it's still something I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
But it would be more for... Look, it would be that in conjunction with a bit of a time rewind. So think of like a game like Forza, where... So actually, that's more what I'm referring to. The ability to rewind, like, let's say, a minute back, plus minus, maybe a little bit more.
Okay.
Let's say 5 minutes. So if something happens, like you do die, you can just go back 5 minutes and then don't die.
That's actually cool. I like that.
Yeah, that I do that. That would be a game mechanic I'd put in, because that would be really cool for redoing stuff.
Yeah, it's a nice compromise.
But you see, now that then goes into the whole like ethical question of, you know, would that take your choice away? You know,
well, no, that gives you.
You know, think about it like this. But does it? Because if you can always replay every scenario to get it right, do you still have a choice?
Yeah. So how would it play if everyone else had that?
Exactly. You would never really know. Like, how many times have we spoken?
Maybe you get one of those every time you age. So you get 5 minutes when you...
for every year of your life?
So you're 29.
So you've got to be careful to use it.
So you get 5 minutes. You're 30, you get another 5 minutes. So you get one rewind a year, basically.
That's cool. I can get behind something like that. I dig that. Then that would make them more valuable.
Yeah.
And you'd be less inclined to use them on a whim for no reason. Yeah, I dig that. I like that. Cool. Yeah. So there we go. My answer would be like some sort of a very short time rewind.
Now I'm getting Prince of Persia vibes. Okay. The next two, the final question comes from Diona. She actually sent me a bit before, but I figured she's someone special to you. She's family, so I put it in last.
At the end.
Her question is, if you had to be a Pokemon character for the rest of your life, what character would you choose?
Well, we all know this.
Yeah, we all know that.
Well, that's maybe a little bit different. Would I choose Mewtwo? It could be in the anime, right? So any Pokemon character.
Yes.
Or does it have to be a Pokemon?
No, I think any Pokemon character. So anyone. I think anyone.
Yeah, no. You know what? I'm going to stick to my guns. Mewtwo.
That's cool. Why?
Yeah.
because he's
'Cause it's me
mysterious
too.
and
Do I even
powerful.
have to give a reason?
No, that's cool.
It's because he's all
It
powerful.
goes without
Edward.
saying.
Do you not see the theme?
Yeah.
here? Like, I want to be Superman.
You've
I
got a
wanna
god
be
complex, is what you're saying. Okay, no, that's dope. And then the last one is Wichart.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, this one is a bit special, and I wanted to end the episode off with
Okay.
this one. He
Okay.
first sent me a beautiful birthday message, which I should read to you. And then he also sent me a
Okay.
voice note, which I should read to you. Well,
Oh,
play you.
wow. Okay.
So his
Okay.
message goes, and I'm going to quote verbatim. To my dearest
Okay.
cousin now and forevermore, I just want to wish you the happiest birthday ever. May you have everything your heart desires and a wonderful year ahead. May it also be a much better one where we can actually get together and celebrate, and once the lockdown is over, we will certainly do. Like you always
Shane,
said,
that's awesome.
and believe that we shouldn't take family for granted, and that is even more true now. Your big heart and compassion is truly inspiring, and thank you for being the person you are. And here is a quote, and I am sure you should know who said this. No cheating. Quote, Euros are made by the path they choose, not the powers they are graced with. Unquote. And you win nothing if you guess right, but I can certainly apply that to you. You are not just my family, you are my best friend. So from me and my family, have a fantastic day, cuz, and thank you for always being a pillar of support. You rock. With lots of love, Vic. And then...
That's really beautiful.
It is beautiful. And then he sent me a voice note.
Hi, my cuz. Just wishing you a fantastic birthday and a wonderful year ahead. I hope you have a wonderful one. I wish we could be celebrating, but we will definitely do so once the lockdown is over. So I hope you have a great one. I'm going to sing you a little song. I'm going to be more embarrassed than you are, but let's go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Hans. Happy birthday to you. Well,
That's awesome.
anyway, so I'm more embarrassed, but it doesn't matter. It's for you. So have a fantastic and wonderful one, and enjoy the day. So, and get all on. Okay, love you guys. Bye.
Well, there you go.
Oh man, Edward, that was really special. Thank you.
Also,
Wow.
he prefaced all of this with a little video he found on YouTube from none other than Thor himself, who says this.
Happy bloody birthday. Have a great day. Lots of love.
that is so. I'm honestly really touched. Thank you very much. Honestly, to everyone who posed a question and to the wonderful song that we just heard and the messages, and I'm really touched. Thank you very much, Edward. This was very special.
Thank you to everyone who sent their messages.
Yes, thank you. That's what I mean. I'm very taken aback right now.
I'm glad. As long as it's a good birthday, that's all I want for you.
Well, it's a birthday in lockdown, and this has just made it so much better. It's the wonderful cherry on the top of no cherries. It's just a wonderful cherry.
The wonderful cherries are always the best.
That I can put on top of anything. So thank you. Honestly, thank you so much to my family who listen, to the people out there who post questions that we don't know or that I don't know. Thank you so much as well. It's awesome.
Mm.
Thank you. You've made my day.
And on that happy note,
this is the end of Kettle, episode 17. Thank you, everybody. Once again, thank you so much. This was very special. I really appreciate it. Edward and I love doing this, as you know. And I guess we look forward to seeing you all again next week.
of course.
Ciao for now.
Bye-bye.